Here we are on YouTube. Oh, that was... Oh, yeah.
Are you okay? Nathan, this is not a good start to the video. Do we have to start again here? Are you going to throw up?
The world is spinning. Okay.
Nathan, you were spinning so fast that you were a blur.
Okay.
Okay, so there's Blur fans who might have stumbled on our channel, and this is the worst introduction to a channel ever. We welcome you new fans to our channel who are Blur fans, because this is the first time we have done any songs or whatever from the band Blur. Nathan, do you know anything about the band Blur?
I know nothing. I know this much.
Same. I actually just know they exist as a band. So when we got this request from Eleni, she's one of our faithful patrons. Thank you very much, Eleni.
Thanks, Eleni.
She joined the album tier request on our Patreon and asked us to do the fifth studio album for the band Blur. Came out in 1997. It's like when I saw that we're doing an album from the band Blur, my brain was like, oh, I've heard that this band exists. That's it. Like, I don't know what genre they are, what sound they are, what they look like, sing like, anything. So, but however, this... the little research I did here, Nathan, long story short, this was their fifth studio album. They're an English rock band. The studio, they were nervous about this album because apparently it had a style or a change in style from their previous albums that the record label was afraid that this album might alienate the teenage fan base from the previous albums type thing. So there must be... Yeah, so I don't know what that sound was, where this young fan base might be like, maybe it's like an older sound or a more mature type sound. So the record label's like, no. You've got to stay... And then that's a fair argument. The studio wants to make money, and they're afraid that you're going to change your sound. So anyway, so the band did change their sound, whatever that sound is. We're going to hear it. Quick review of the professional ratings and review scores. It's a highly rated album. I mean, it's 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10, B+, 3.5 out of 4 stars. So it's from the big review conglomerates. It's highly reviewed. And yeah, so just a quick little fifth studio album, bit of a change in the sound of the band, which a lot of bands do, especially around the third to fourth to fifth albums. You kind of start... As a band, you're kind of like, what do we want to do now? Do you want to keep doing this for 50 years, like AC/DC, or do we want to change our sound a little bit? Yeah. There's pros and cons for both, right? To do that, and we get a whole discussion about bands that succeed doing that, bands that fail at doing that. So, but this what happened to be, however, it says here the album reached the top 20 in 6 countries, and this album itself became the band's most successful album as far as sales go. In the U.S. There you go.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. I'm glad you give me all that background on all these because I just record on my end and I don't get to like pull up.
Right. Well, Nathan, I'm happy to help.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So song 1 on the album was song 1, classic. Song 1 is also the first single from the album. It's called Beetlebum.
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 And we'll let you know if we're like, oh, I've heard that song. Because maybe that'll be the case. We might be like, oh, I heard that on the radio back in 97 type thing. So, all right. But it's already 25 years old. Boy, we're getting old.
What you done? She's a girl. Now what you done? Beetlebum, get nothing done. You Beetlebum, just get nothing. Me slip away. She tells me I'm in all my violence gone. Nothing is right. I just live. 'cause you're young. She's a gun. And what you done? Beat a bum. She suck you bum. She'll make you come. 'Cause she's your gun. Me slip away. She tells me all my fire is gone. Nothing is wrong. I just slip away. I am gone. There's nothing wrong. She tells me
Now I remember where we heard the name.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, so remember we did Gorillaz?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
The Demon Days studio album. Check that out, folks, if you're new to our channel. We reviewed that whole album. I believe it's available on our channel still.
Yeah.
He's the singer from the same band.
Oh, okay. Which one
Same
is
guy. His name is Damon. So he's the lead singer of Gorillaz. So he has two projects, Blur and did I say it right? Gorillaz? Is that what they're called?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, and I hear the voice now. His name is Damon Albarn. So
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Cool. I find that very interesting when an artist is like that. He has so much to kind of do that he's got like two different they're pretty popular bands, both bands in their own right, or projects or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I like this as far as this song goes, like it's a good song. I guess it feels like it could have been tightened a little bit. It was
Sure, I think so. I think so.
It
I
kind
think
of
it's fair.
Like it's like lyrically great, exploration of the topic. Very like, I enjoyed listening to it, but I found myself kind of like, okay, could have ended here, or just went on a little long. Is all.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. It could have been tightened. And well, speaking of tighter or shorter, well, ironically, the next song is kind of short. It's only 2 minutes. So I maybe we'll say the next song could have been longer. We'll find out. So song 2 is the name of the next song. Song 2. Yeah, and it's also the second single from the album. So let's see how this sounds. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Oh, we know this song. You must know this song.
Oh, there. Woohoo!
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Okay. Okay. I was gonna say, yes. I didn't know that was them though. Okay.
Song 2.
Head check by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please have me down. I got my head down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please let me down.
There's a saxophone in there.
What did you say there at the end?
It sounded like there was like a baritone sax underneath.
Oh, maybe.
It sounded, yeah, just subtle, but it was in there.
Yeah, I have heard that song. I've never listened to it. I mean, like, I've never put it on to listen, but I had no idea it was Blur. But the name is familiar Blur. So stupid.
Just your humor is what I'm laughing at.
It's just dumb. Anyways, that I knew there'd be a song that was like, I bet you we're gonna hear a song. We're like, oh, of course, because this is like that right before the internet kind of music, late '90s. Sure. I mean, I was still listening to the radio to a degree where there wasn't streaming. I couldn't pick my songs. So I was probably in the car or work or at the store, and or it's been used on commercials or something. So this is a song where it could have been longer. Like, this is enough of a groove and fun, and you could have easily just added another 4 to 5 seconds of have like another mini bridge and then a pause. Yee-hoo! Just one last big outro of it. So they could have easily, or Damon could have easily lengthened this one, shortened the other one. But that's fine. It's a sign of a good song. It could have been longer. The other one a little bit shorter. Sure.
Like, okay, I've heard this probably 10,000 times.
Wow. Okay.
Easily. I did. I've told you this before. I worked laying carpet for the 97 to 99. Basically, worked in that industry, listening to the radio every single day.
Right. Yeah.
And this song would come on, but I wasn't like listening. Like, oh, who's this band? I was just kind of like, that song. Okay,
that song. That's the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was called Song 2, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Song 3
is called
it's called Country Sad Ballad Man. I like the title. So.
Well, I was going to say, I'm curious why they didn't call it Pleased to Meet You, because it seems like be the right title for that last song. But whatever.
Maybe they could have come up with the title, so they literally called it the Song 2, I bet you, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Mouth organ.
Yeah, I found nowhere. It got to know me.
That just sounds so weird.
Yeah, I think it's meant to, right?
Yeah.
Disconcerting.
Yeah.
And in my motorhome, sweat on my pillow all night. VIP to free. Have my chances, they have me. Now stay all night, watch TV, countryside. I'm a ballad man. I'm a ballad
All right.
So this reminds me of, like, because I'm going back to the 90s in my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is definitely a 90s sounding album for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember on certain albums that you would usually share with me, or, in the early 90s when we were living in the same city, there'd be like that odd song on the album where I was kind of like, it's not my thing. This would be that song for me. This would be the one that I'd be like, nah, it's not for me. Somebody out there might like that one, but it just feels so all over the place, and I know it's intentional to be that way. But I was trying to find a way into the song, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I hear you. That's fair. I've already consigned myself with this album. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's kind of a time capsule. It is 25 years ago, and there's some sounds or pieces of work or musical work too that is of an era, and it wouldn't land today at all. And for better for worse. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but if you were to play this song, Countryside Ballad Man, for a teenager today, they might be like, I'm not sure. It's not getting me. And it is a little bit long too. I like that there's a little bit of kind of that humor, kind of nod to itself. It's creating its own like disconcerting sounds in the song, and it's a country ballad man song. Like it is, but it's with the rock twinge to it. I get it.
Reminds me of Ween. You know what I mean? Like some of
it's a little bit of a nod, a little bit of humor. Like this isn't. You can tell that song isn't serious. Like he's not. Damon is not doing that in a serious way. Like I'm a serious auteur with this song. He's creating kind of a song. I don't know if it's meant to be enjoyed. It's hard to say.
Sure.
Like,
oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah.
you see what I mean by it? Like, I don't know if you.
It's a blank canvas. It's a.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone puts that on ever. Yeah, I would be interested in the comments below. People that listen to this album. I mean, this is a first time listen, but maybe it grows on you over time. But if anyone like when they put this on, they're like, "Oh, I can't wait for Country Salad Ballad Man."
Yeah.
Country Salad Bad Man.
Yeah. yeah. Joker and Batman. That's what you said.
Yes. Superman versus Batman. Dawn of Justice.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
The next song is M.O.R.
That's right. I wonder if in the lyrics we'll see if this stands for something. Maybe we can catch that. But this is their 4th song on the album, and also their 4th single that they released from the album. So there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so dramatic. I need to unload under the pressure. The middle of the road. Fall into fashion. Fall out again. We stick together. 'Cause it never ends. Here comes a low. Here comes a high. Here comes everything. Here it comes. You, me, we'll work it out. Here comes tomorrow. 1, 2, 3 episodes. We stick together. Go middle of the road.
There you go. Middle of the road.
'Cause that's entertainment.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
Side of the wheel. The road's not forever. Yeah, you know how it feels. Here comes a low. Here comes a high. Here comes everything. Here it comes. Here comes a low. Here comes a high. Here comes everything. Here comes you, me, we'll work it out. It's automatic. Need to unload under the pressure. Middle of the road. Here comes the low. Here comes a high. Here comes everything. Here it comes. Here comes a low. Here comes a high. Here comes everything. Here it comes. You, me, we'll work it out.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the written credits in the bottom here. You see that?
Yeah.
Brian Eno and David
Yeah.
Bowie are credited in this one.
Yeah, so I went to the Wikipedia, so I'll speak to that.
Okay.
It says the song's chord progression was borrowed from David Bowie's song Boys Keep Swinging and Fantastic Voyage.
Oh, okay.
On the album Lodger, Bowie and collaborator Brian Eno carried out a musical experiment in which multiple songs were written with the same chord progression, of which Boys Keep Swinging and Fantastic Voyage were the two that surfaced. So More is both a continuation of and a tribute to that experiment, as its chorus also lifts the melody and the call and response vocals from Boys Keep Swinging. So that's why they received credit. So they borrowed from that idea. They openly, but they made it their own. They blurified it.
Okay.
So I was actually going to say before reading that. Oh, sorry. Do you want to finish your thoughts on the song before?
No, go ahead. No, I'll
well, obviously, this is of the four we've heard so far. I like this one the best.
Yeah.
This one just even sounded different in the sense of not different. It just, I wonder if because I know the company, the music company, was a little bit nervous about this album, even though this was their number one selling album they did in their whole career. But at the time, the company was like, "Whoa!" I wonder if this hails back to how they sounded before, to some degree. That rockabilly, maybe, I don't know, like if it's easy for teens. Yeah, for teens to listen to, because they were worried about the demographic change with this album. But it was released as a single, and I can see why. I do love that. Here's the line, here's the chorus, or here's the kind of the response chorus. I love that. It sounded very old school, so definitely a tribute to that old sound, like almost like a 50s, type swing rock song. But the great guitar work, heavy, great guitar beginning, of the sound effect at the beginning. All in all, this is a very strong song. Yeah, I truly enjoy this song. Nathan.
Yeah, it's classic punk. That's what classic punk is you take 50s, 60s songs, speed them up.
That's right.
And then, you've got a punk song, basically. And I agree. I think this is the stronger one. I don't know if it's stronger than the one that they're famous for. The, like...
Song 2.
Do. Yeah, that one. Like, that one became like, that's the only one that I'll ever be able to say, oh yeah, that's a Blur song.
Right.
Whereas this one, this one, I like this one. I don't know if I like it more than the other one. I just think it's a good song. It's a solid. Yeah. It's a very solid song. Yeah.
Okay. No. All right. The next song, Nathan, is called "On Your Own," and if I ever decide to leave this YouTube channel, you'll be on your own.
Oh, well, and so will you.
You're probably like, oh, I wouldn't mind that.
I'm free, like a bird.
Oh, this is their third single.
I love that. Wow, playing with the sound. The electric guitar.
Holy man tiptoes his way across the Ganges. The sound of magic music in his ears. Videoed by a bus
Sorry, my camera got dislodged, and I could still listen. I could still hear it, but then I
was on my own for a little while.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, all right.
That's the name of the song.
Yes, I see. We're on your own, but I got 3/4 of the song there just for Eleni's purposes. But yeah, that's another good song. I can see why that was a single. Again, another strong song. Good sound effects, like the guitar effect they use throughout the song, and now it makes me a little bit nervous. Now, not because singles are the best songs on any album. I mean, you and I have listened to many bands, many albums where singles are some of them actually I don't listen to it because I'm sick of them. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious now how the rest of the album will play out now that they've exhausted so what they've released to the public. The rest of it now is the only way you heard these songs was when you bought the album type songs. So
is it going to be a true B-side? Yeah.
Right. Is the rest of the album going to be any kind of treat or so to speak? Yeah.
So it started off in a way that I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this song. And then as it developed, like especially when the beat came in and when like it started to like expand a little bit and you got to the chorus, you're like, oh yeah, this is a good song. One of the things that I'm trying to get my head around is I don't know if I'm a 100% fan of his vocals. And I know it's more of a punk kind of style vocals.
Right.
And there's sometimes when punk artists sing where I'm like it doesn't bother me at all. And then there's sometimes when I'm like, I just trying to like, sometimes it doesn't quite do it for me. So it was like at the beginning of this song, I was like, oh, is this going to be that kind of a song? And then it changed and I was like, no, it's fine. It developed into a song that I do like. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. It's almost like, best way to describe it, I'm not a big fan of Bob Dylan singing.
Sure.
And the way Bob Dylan sings. It's almost like, but I love his lyrics. Like I love, he's a very strong lyricist and a good writer for music, but like his singing style just kind of, it's like nails on the chalkboard for me.
Right.
And like when people sing that way, when they're kind of like not shouting, but like saying the words instead of singing them, sometimes I'm thrown off by that. That's all.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I would say Blur and then Damon, the singer, who also does Gorillaz. I think his thing isn't necessarily his vocal work. I don't think people go to. They don't. Like, he is a passable vocalist. Yeah. So I think you're going to his soundscape of his projects and his lyrics. I would assume. Yeah. So that's fair. Yeah. All right. So the next song, Nathan, is "Theme from Retro."
All right.
So. I wonder if this is going to have a retro sound, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know what that means. Theme from Retro.
No lyrics.
Oh, okay. So it's an instrumental. Okay. So speaking of no singing, this is a soundscape. Yeah.
Echo, 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 echo.
Echo, echo, echo. Hey, 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 All right,
Okay.
thoughts?
It's good. I don't know. Instrumentals are interesting things on any
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
They always intrigue me as to why they decide to do them. And like you said earlier, I think that their Blur's strengths lie in their soundscapes, and so that's kind of what they're doing. They're playing around with the soundscape,
Right.
and this would be the kind of instrumental that I would likely skip on an album, just because like there's certain instrumentals that I've heard from some bands where you're like, oh wow, this is their opportunity to explore a sound or something that they haven't had a chance to, and it doesn't really go to lyrics, so they thought, let's do this. And I was just listening to that, I was like, it's a pretty simple, this is like 4 chords or whatever, do, 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 or 3 chords, kind of repeated. I don't know. It didn't feel like much experimenting was going on there. So I probably don't understand the context, and I'm sure people in the comments are going to come at me for that one.
No, I don't think so, because nobody watches us anyways. Number 2... that's fair. Yeah, it's not like, we listen to like Metallica's like, Orion or something, but I think as far as a soundscape, it's called the theme of retro, I think as a soundscape song, it was, I kind of dug the vocal effect. I like that.
Right.
Like, I don't know what was going on, but it did seem like it belonged on a show somewhere. Like, this could have been on a movie or show. This could be like the outro of a movie or something. Like, or the montage of some sort of like sci-fi, I don't know, Ocean meets Ocean's 11 type, putting the equipment together and they're walking slowly down the hallway, or I just
okay,
so,
yeah. Okay,
yeah, you know what I
see
mean?
that.
Like, they're getting the weapons ready and whatever, and it's I don't know. So I kind of dug it for that. It's had a feel of a motion picture or something on a TV or something. So it'd be interesting to see if Damon could probably do soundtracks and stuff like that, if he, taking that into account. But yeah, as far as like an instrument, I got to hear a theme from, I got to hear it, man. I got to hear it. It was certainly fun to listen to, but it's not going to make you do anything. Like, you can't work out to it. You're not going to sing to it. You can't.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. It did feel like almost like stock audio. You go to a stock audio site and pick like a song. Oh, I need something that's a little retro, a theme from retro. Yeah, that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah. But all in all, good stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the next song on the album is "You're So Great," Ryan. You're so great.
Well, Nathan, what's the next song on the album?
I just said that.
Oh, I thought you were just saying that I'm so great. You're so sweet
I
to
said the next song on the album is "You're So Great." Ryan,
No, but-
you're so great. This is so dumb. This is as you just said, as the kids say, cringe.
Yes, people who watch our channel cringe quite a bit. We know. All right. You're so great. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sad, drunk, and poorly, sleeping really late. Sad, drunk, and poorly, not feeling so great. Wandering lost in a town full of frowns. Sad, drunk, and poorly, dogs digging up the ground. So great, and I love you. Surprise, so am I. TT and coffee, getting no sleep today. And I feel the light in the night and in the day. And I feel the light when the sky's just mud and gray. You're so great, and I love you.
Do you want me to start this one, Nathan, or you want to take a lead on this
Why
one?
don't you go for it?
Okay. Oh, scared me. So this was an interesting direction that Damon wanted to go with this song. Listening to it, it had that old-time recordy scratch, which I think he wanted to. I'm not sure what the reason was, but he wanted to showcase like an old-timey, almost vocal effect over a current sound. And I will say that I really enjoyed the guitar. You got the giggles today, Nathan. Are you drunk? What's going on? Nathan's got the giggles today, guys. Sorry about that. Like, I'll just say, like, the acoustic guitar that was going and the electric solo kicked in. It felt like it belonged to a different song, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like his vocal effect and singing, it's almost like this Damon, I know he's a very talented artist in his own right. He has a big fan base. But I feel like if I was the producer, I'd be like, hey, we got a good chord and guitar sound going on here with I like that electric solo. I really do. But I felt like I was listening to two different songs. I feel like he was singing or whatever, kind of singing. And with this weird effect, kind of like bored. He sounded bored. And but the person, probably him or his bandmates, playing the guitar and it's like, hey, we're playing this song, man. We're playing this song. And you're singing, I don't really want to be here. And so I will say that I think a different vocal performance and delivery would have elevated the song to a different song.
Well, that's well said, Ryan. I would say this song, for me, was a bit of a dud.
But you think it would have improved? Do you think it would have been improved had they like, I'm going to sing a different song with this kind of guitar playing going? I don't know. Like, I felt he's saying low energy. That's all. And so I felt low energy. Okay.
Low energy. I also feel like the general writing of that song was a little bit like, I don't know, like there's been other songs that we've listened to were kind of like, oh, this is really creative. And this has got, this just feels like, honestly, like they went, let's pick up a guitar, and like lyrically, it wasn't that strong either. And let's just play a song. Like it sounds like someone's busking on the corner, playing their guitar, just to play a song. And I always say this about every process that a person goes through when they're coming up with an album. Did they all in this band go like, yeah, this is a good one, let's put this one on there, right? Because it feels really like, I don't know, inconsistent with the other songs that we've listened to.
Well said. Yeah, good point about what are the other bandmates saying? Yeah, good point. Fair enough. Yeah.
All right, next song is "Death of a Party." Sounds like a fun song.
Yeah.
This is like a happy
song. The title doesn't evoke a lot of funness, does it? Yeah.
No.
All right. Death of a Party. Anytime I get invited to a party, I become the death of the party. So maybe it's about me.
Yeah, it's all about you.
Okay. Yeah. It's all about me. He doesn't play witches.
Death of the Party
came as no surprise. Why did we bother? Should have stayed away another night. And I thought, to another party and hang myself gently on the shelf. The death of the teenager standing on his own. Why did he bother? Should have slept alone another night. And I thought, well, to another party and hang myself gently on the shelf.
Do you want to take the lead on that? Do you want me to take the lead? Are you okay?
I'm sure the Blur
right.
fans are going to be super impressed with what I say about this.
Oh,
I'm being
okay.
sarcastic.
What are
I'm being
you?
sarcastic?
Are you all right, Nathan? Are you okay? Are you having a bad day?
I
What's
feel
going
like
on
I
here?
want to hang myself.
Oh wow! Oh boy! Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that is a lyric from the line. Sorry, a line from the lyrics here. Yes, go to another party and hang myself. So, explain how you're feeling here.
Well, that song just kind of dragged on and repeated itself, and like, I don't know. It wasn't what I was. Not that I was expecting something great, but after the last song, which I know I didn't like, I didn't think I would like another song less than the last song, and I don't like.
Oh,
this
interesting.
Song. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if I can compare them. They're different songs, but I'm just starting to catch a little bit of a trend here of, and it. I don't know. Like, I don't like getting down on a song. I don't like being, I will say like it has a catchy beat, I guess, and. It's not my thing. Yeah, it's not my thing.
All right, yeah, that's fair. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I think the last song and this song isn't a very good back to back. So, if I was the producer of this album's pretty big. It's like 14 songs. So it's not a short album in that sense. So we've got a lot of tracks here. I think if I was Damon or the producers, I might tighten a couple things. What I'd probably do. The previous song, I remember our criticism was it was kind of a little bit slow and not really much going on, a little bit artisty like it. This one has those elements, but it's a little bit better. So I think what I would do is not have the other song at all. Explore the more artsy side with this because you have some soundscapes on here, some things on the bass line. Like you said, there's some catchiness to it, and he's actually singing a little bit more. The previous song, he wasn't really kind of singing. It was very depressing singing. He seemed bored. Here, it seems a little bit more, yeah, it fits the lyrics. I get it. He's depressed, or he's a sad guy at the party. He wants to hang himself. So he's very kind of, like, I get it. So he's singing depressed. Fine. But, so I would eliminate the previous song, just take it off, and then have this one on, and then make this 30, 40 seconds shorter. So I think it would just make that a little bit tighter. I think our response to this song would probably be a little bit more favorable had the other song not existed before going into this song. This is another downer, and tighten this song by 40 seconds. That would be my prediction. Of course, that's a timeline we'll never experience, but that's my suggestion had I been the producer of this album. All right. Next one, Nathan, Chinese Bombs. It's only a minute and a half long, so I don't know if it's like a musical interlude or if there's actual singing or what have you. We'll find out.
All right, let's do it.
So what would you get? What would you guess my response now would be to this? Like,
It's like,
probably the same as yours.
well, the last one was too long, and
Yeah,
this last one was too short.
it's weird. Why would they?
Like,
Why
it's
would
the
they
same
do that?
as-
I don't.
It's the same as that other song on here, song 2.
Song 2, yeah,
Yeah,
too
and
short.
In fact, and in fact, it's almost in the same style as that. Like
Yeah,
kinda-
banger out there in your face. Let's jump around. Let's have some fun. Let's bang our heads. Move our feet. And now, this is not an insult to Blur and anyone that likes this album, but I'm finding, why would an artist? I don't know. Like, if you and I were musical creators, right? And I'm playing the drums. You're playing the drums probably, and I'm playing guitar, and they're like, "Hey, Nathan, this is so much fun." Bum, bum. And you're like, "Okay, that's it. 1 minute. That's good." Like, what? Would we have ever like? Why would you would say to me, Ryan? Why are we stopping? Why can't we just repeat it again and add a bridge or something? I don't know what the reasons are.
Yeah. Here's my guess. This is my guess.
Okay.
I think both of those songs are the divergence from their original sound. I think those
or are those sounds from the original, like the first 4 albums?
Sure, maybe that's the sound that they used to have, and these other ones that are kind of duds are like the new ones. I don't know. I don't know which is the case, but because there's so much like strange diversity on this album, from like just one guy and an acoustic guitar to that last song before this one, sorry, and then this one, this like thrash kind of thrash kind of punk metal. It's like, I'm not trying to say make up your mind. Artists are free to do whatever they want, by all means. But I'm struggling with like, why is this such a popular album? Just because it's so diverse? And there's lots of albums that are diverse. Yeah, it's odd to me. It's odd.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Got a next song.
Is I'm Just a Killer for Your Love.
Ooh. All right. Is this gonna be a ballad, maybe, or what do you think?
I think it's gonna be. I don't know.
All right.
All the
Good
songs
guess.
are so like all over the place. So I'm
That's
guessing
true.
it'll be like kind of psych pop.
Okay. Let's check it out. Oh, long outro, I guess.
Or there's a secret song.
No, I think it's just a long outro. I think we're kind of back on track with this song. I think like the last two songs we talked about, the last three, the last song was only a minute and a half, but the two before that it was slower, but they were,
Yeah.
I would say boring. Yeah, they were kind of boring, kind of too slow, and he almost sounded bored when he was singing. This singing style and beat and groove, much better. Again, this album is a little, I would say long, but there's songs that they could have eliminated, and I think the middle of the album is not as strong as maybe as we near the end. But I like the sound of that. Again, it sounds very 90s, but it's that definitely had a lot more sound effects going on and groove and what else? It kind of a swing to it, a beat and a swing. It felt very floaty and steamy,
Floaty
like that.
and steamy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I liked it better than the other songs.
Yeah.
It's not growing on me yet. I don't know if I've been won over by Blur as a band that I'm going to start listening to.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't catchy enough for me to be like, oh, okay, finally. Like, I don't know if I feel that yet. I don't think I'm back onto to some good Blur. I think I'm just kind of like, okay, it's kind of slow.
Right.
It was too slow for me.
If they're still really focusing on the slow, which is odd. Again, when they're back to the beginning of the album, their song, what's the name of the song?
Song 2.
Song 2, and the Chinese Bombs was another example of that punk. Kind of a little faster, so I'm interested why. Maybe some of the last songs on the album will be this, but is that Blur though? Are they just a slow band? What I mean by slow is that beats per minute, right? That it just seems to be a slower style, and I know obviously there's an audience for that. This album is well loved and well revered by many fans of the band and critics, but I don't think that falls into our wheelhouse. Like, I don't mind a slow song now and then, but when you have 14 songs, you think 7 of them would be like song 2, like or Chinese Bombs, like kind of a more rock. I mean, they're considered a rock band by right here, so indie rock, alternative rock, art rock, experimental rock. And I don't know if those genres, according to Wikipedia, are slower type sounds. I'm not sure. All right, so let's see. Let's find out. The next song is called "Look Inside America."
Look Inside America. All right, let's see what
Look Inside America, yeah.
Morning, lethargy, drink Pepsi, it's good for energy. The bath song, smoke in the bedroom, sore throat and on my neck, a nasty bruise. And where it came from, well, I don't know, but we played last night. It was a good show. Got the playhouse at the radio show. It's a nationwide deal, so we gotta go. Jeff from a company says it'll be alright. Got a night on K-Rock, and there's an in-store tonight. Then I put things up, and then I let them go. Gotta get time show radio. Look inside America, she's alright, she's alright. Sitting out the distance, but I'm not trying to make her mine. Looking for America when it's kooky nights and suicide. He says it's alright, 'cause everybody's hung up or something or other. Stepping off in 20, so the driver says, "You sleep tonight, but I think I'll watch videos instead." And at home, please New York again. Press rewind, would it get you back again? And the whole world could have
You know what? That
So,
that song
go
definitely
ahead.
has some echoes of Beatles. The Beatles, like
Yeah, for sure.
you can't listen to that song, and even us who don't really know the Beatles that well, can recognize that there's some influence there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they are from the UK. It's my understanding, Blair or Damon, the singer leader of the band. I think this, if I was to gather, I think this song is talking about maybe feel a little bit blasé about America, or trying to be big in America. Now, there was a line here that I recognize, K-Rock, K-R-O-Q. K-Rock was a radio station in LA, and they were in the 90s, the station. Like, if you got your songs on K-Rock, it elevated bands. They were like the audio version of MTV.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were, a huge push for bands. And so K-Rock was the station to get big on. Yeah. So they were mentioning their time. They got an ad on K-Rock, and there's an in-store tonight, so they got an in-store signing of their album. Well, I'll build things up, then I let them go. Got to get some timeshare on the radio. So this is back in the day, of course, before streaming, the internet and all that good stuff. So K-Rock was a big deal at the time. And there's a little nod, of course, to Annie Hall. And that's New York City. So that's the other side of the country. So they're talking about the two different coasts. So it's kind of like maybe a love letter to America, but also kind of a blasé love letter maybe to America. Their experience there.
I think that's the feel I got. You know what's interesting is it's been hard for us to identify what a lot of the other songs have been about up until this song. Some of the other songs, like I found them to be quite abstract. There's nothing wrong with being abstract in a song. I'm just that seemed to be their style. This seems to be the first one where we can kind of get a sense of what the song is about.
Sure, yeah.
And I would say probably one of the better songs that we've heard.
And this is the perfect example of slower beats per minute, but they had a guitar solo, is a little bit more, let's say, straightforward kind of a rock song, which I like. That's just it. That's my wheelhouse. So it's a little bit more rock, that bluesy kind of, yeah. So a combination of blues rock mixed with the Beatles type sound. And it was like not as distorted as artsy fartsy some of the other songs. So it was just kind of I kind of wish more of the album was like that.
Yeah.
Like imagine if song 2, Chinese Bombs, and then that were the first 3 tracks. You'd be like, okay, what are we doing here? You'd be like a great start to an album type thing. Yeah. All right, Strange New Worlds from Another Star. Okay, that's the name of this song.
Okay. That's the whole title?
That's the Strange News from another Star. Did I say worlds?
Yes, this is Strange New Worlds.
Sorry, it's my Star Trek in me.
All I wanna be is washed out by the sea. No Death Star over me won't give me any peace. All I want is life with me, but the crazies on the street give them guns and feed them meat. They shoot the Death Star down, dig a hole and put it down, 1,000 miles underground. They say it's no game. There's strange news from another star. I'm lost. I'm lost. There's strange news from another star. Give me all your stuff until I can't get up. Watch the whole world freeze, counting tin cans in our sea. Submarines are diving deep. I don't believe in me. I don't believe in me. All I've ever done is tame. Will you love me all the same? from another star. I'm lost. I'm lost. There's strange news from another star. Another star. Another star.
Well, that song, by about the middle there, the words like imitated art there for a second. I'm lost. I'm lost.
Yeah,
It's kind of going back to those lyrics that I was talking about, where like I'm not sure what this is about. I can get little hints of what it's about, and
Sure.
musically, it kind of did the same thing. Like it would kind of start this little theme, and then it would stop and go in a totally different direction. Like I get it. I get that it's kind of art for art's sake. That's what there was a theory of art that kind of pervaded throughout the 19th century. That was like, or the 20th century. That's like, yeah, do art for art's sake. Doesn't matter. Stop looking for things. I get it. I understand. But that doesn't endear me to the song anymore. I was still lost.
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. It's another one. It's a very slow album.
Yeah.
Like it's just a slow album. I don't know if you have to listen to this high. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And again, this album's love. Of course, Eleni, who gave us this pledge, she loves this album. She wants us to listen to it, but we are always honest with our reactions. This is never a. It's just not fun. I'm having a hard time like putting this album on and listening to it like front to back in one sitting would be, I don't know what that does for somebody. Like, are people really doing that? Like, are they putting it on Blur's album, self-titled album, right now, today in 2022, almost 2023?
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing that? I gotta listen to Blur's whole album. Like, I don't know. I'd be curious. Let us know in the comments if you've made it this far in our video. Answer the question for me, Blur. And I'm just curious what it does for you then. I actually want to know. It's not a criticism. I'm actually curious to those who listen to Blur religiously 28 years after this album, or 26 years after this album was released. What does it do for you today? I'm just curious. Or is it just a memory thing? Is it just it meant something to you in that day? Which is great. I get it. Nostalgic is a powerful thing. Yeah.
I think that's probably more the latter. I think it'd be hard for people who've never heard Blur before to become Blur fans based on this album, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are some.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know if you've converted Blur people to Blur with this album. I'd be very curious. I find this all very, very curious. Again, Nathan and I aren't converted. It doesn't mean like it is what it is. Like we've always said this about our channel. Like we like exploring other bands and other albums and all that stuff because I've heard of Blur. And now I know, hey, I know more now. Damon is in charge of Gorillaz as well. And that's very interesting to me. Mm-hmm. So I find this stuff very interesting, and that people who have a staple on a part of society or popular society, it's interesting to see, who they were and why they were. But I guess that's what I'm figuring out now is why they were. I'm just curious what the fandom is really feeling or seeing when they hear this album. So I'm very curious about that. It was the first time listen to, again, song 2, was it Look Inside America, and then Chinese Bombs. Like, I just wish the album was more of those. All right, so we got 2 more songs, Nathan, and then we'll give our final thoughts. Okay, so Nathan, boy, last 2 songs of this journey of the Blur album, self-titled album Blur. Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on!
I think other than Eleni, I don't think anyone else is watching up to this point. I think people have... Eleni, bless your heart. Bless your heart for giving us this album to listen to, and bless your heart for actually watching, because I know you will. And we just want to say thank you for the journey, and we'll tie it up at the end here. But I just don't know how many people are going to come with us on this journey, you know. But here we go. Moving on. Let's go.
We'll see.
Let us know in the comments.
On the music highs, I'm not the common man with aluminium lungs.
Aluminum.
He sucks, I know they can. He sees the whole world go flip in a scumbag style, 'cause he's a parasite. Never said you like Paul, but he can smile.
I think it's a theremin. It's like that they're using there for that solo and that woo.
Okay, this is going to be interesting because I think you'll probably echo the same thoughts I'm about to say. I could be wrong. Let me know. Well, either way, let me know if you agree or not. So here's a song where, had this been, again, a part of the 3 other songs we've sort of been talking about, you know, and this song near the end of the album, like, this is a good rock song. Like, this is a song when you listen to it, like, okay, you're not bored. It moves quickly. It's got great guitar, the drum. You know, you're not bored listening to this because, you know, the vocal effect, the distortion of the vocal effect, the guitar playing, the background vocals, ooh, ooh, Like I love that background vocal, right? And so all this is added, all this is happening, and it's fun, it's easy. This was a very quick, almost 4 minutes. And like, oh, okay, moving on. That's good. And it has that moving on feel. It's moving on. It's pushing forward. So I went to their Reddit, Nathan. You'll find this very interesting. Now, we don't know anything about this band. So, of course, people who are fans of the band have some things to say. And you might find this interesting. This person here on Reddit said, Moving On was supposed to be the album closer until they decided to add the next song we're about to listen to, Essex Dogs, to the album. So Essex Dogs was only supposed to be B-side. That's number one. And right here, sorry, this one. This song is a really good way of saying goodbye to the band's old ways. And it makes me feel like they're trying to give one more lo-fi bang before moving on. It's the last steps before the gateway, the song we're about to hear, S6 Dogs, which opens up to the darker, more experimental road that the band takes on. So I'm wondering if, like we said before, if the previous albums are more like what we just heard.
Oh. That'd be curious, yeah.
Because I don't think we quite got that feeling on this album with that commenter was saying. So I don't know if he's saying goodbye to what they sound like later albums, or in general, this song was kind of a nod to their earlier stuff. So either way, let us know in the discussion. I think Eleni will probably answer that question for us at least. And I say this because, I mean, that's a fine song. It's fine. It's a good song. I wasn't bored at all. It woke me up. And this album could have been so much tighter, even if they made it like a 10-track album or 8-track album. Just give us those type of bangers. And I don't know. We'll see how it ends with Essex Dogs. But what's your thoughts on that song?
So I'm probably it's probably good that we're piecing this out in pieces, because I think if I had just listened to other songs that I didn't like and I got to this one, I'd have a lot more negative to say about this.
Okay.
Whereas if this was just like, we picked the top 3 songs from the album and listen to them in order, I'd be much more inclined to think of this as a great song. Having said that, one of the things that's often distracting with me with this band is the strange lyrics. That I like lyrics, and when the lyrics don't make any sense whatsoever, and I'm trying to figure out what the point is, I'm like, ugh. I like the chorus is great. There's like a hook there. You can hear that. Because this is the music, moving on, we're moving on. There's a bit of a hook in the chorus, and I'm inclined to like it at that point. But if I didn't have all the context of all the weird lyrics from previous songs, I'd be like, if I didn't have all that, then I'd be like, oh, this is a great song. Whereas now I'm like, I've got a little bit of that context, so that part's the only distracting part. The rest of it's cool. I really like the deconstructed solo in the middle there, where it was a solo, but it sounded like a theremin that they were using. So it was kind of a cool idea to introduce that. And then the general vibe of this song is I do like this song. But that's kind of the fuller context of what I think
it's
about
great.
that.
All right, so the last track is called Essex Dogs. I see here on Wikipedia, it looks like it's 8 minutes long, so I don't know if it's a hidden track or if that truly is an 8-minute song. Either way, we'll listen to it, but if there's some dead air, of course, we'll edit accordingly and get to where the song is. But it might just be an 8-minute song, so let's check it out. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, all right, there you go. It starts right away.
It says includes interlude.
Oh, okay.
Is this the interlude, maybe?
Maybe.
asphalt through sprinklers on tiny lawns. I remember the graffiti. Where are your children coming at you with spray cans and paint? I remember the sunsets and the plains of cement, and the way the night just seemed to turn the colour of orangeade. In this town, cellular phones are hot with teens. In this town, we all go to terminal pubs. It helps us sweat out those angry bits of life. In this town, the English army grind their teeth to glass. Now you'll get kicked tonight. The smell of puke and piss. The smell of puke and piss from your stilettos.
pause it there because I think there's a hidden track that we can actually just comment on.
Okay.
Maybe. But let's just talk about. We'll see what that little hidden track is if it comes up.
Sure.
So I see where this is kind of like a afterthought type. Like it does sound much different than the rest of the album. Like people on Reddit were saying, this is hey, Blur fans. This gives you a little bit of an indication of where we might be leaning towards in future sounds. I kind of dug it in some ways because it was a lot different. You know, it sounded experimental. It sounded like interesting, again, soundscapes and the bass line. And it sounded like, like U2 at the time was kind of doing the same thing with experimental or different sound changes. Mm-hmm. This is 97, keep that in mind. This is, 25, 26 years ago. So, again, it could have been tightened. This is 6 minutes. If you made this a 3-minute thing, it would have been, again, this is my advice to Blur. Tighten the songs that drag out and the length of the songs that are fun. I don't know why they do this. It's such a weird concept they have. They have these sounds that are interesting sounds or ways of doing a song, the slower ones, yes. But just tighten them a little bit. Don't repeat so much. And then with the banger type songs, make them a little bit longer. I don't know why they do the opposite, but that's their choice. But it's just me as a music listener. So again, this is not, that wasn't actually that boring other than the fact of the length. After a while, I get it. I get the soundscape. I get what you're doing here. I get the sound you're trying to say. I didn't need to hear it for another 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm a little different than you. I think as far as I'm concerned with, my whole experience, and I don't want to comment on the entire experience because we've still got a hidden track to listen to, but
yeah, it might blow our socks off for all we know. So
yeah, it could. But this wasn't impressive to me at all. I was bored by this song. I didn't like the talking. It didn't do anything for me. And as an end to an album, it just wasn't like. It sure wasn't making me going gee, I really want to listen to more Blur. It was making me go, yeah, I'm not that interested. If this is kind of the direction that they went afterwards, I'm like, I'm out. If you want to listen to Blur on your own, you can have at it. But yeah, I'm not that interested anymore. So the last minute and 52 seconds has to knock my socks off for this to feel like a win, because like you say, there's only 2-3 tracks on this album that I'm like, oh yeah, those are good tracks, but the rest of it I'm like, it's just not doing anything for me.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's hear this last part here.
1 minute 46. Oh, here we go. This must be interlude.
Yeah, so obviously that was just the outro. Okay. All right, so closing thoughts there, Nathan, on Blur's self-titled album Blur before we close it down for the day.
I think I've said mostly what I say, because that didn't do anything for me either. So I would just say, unless there's some song from the previous stuff that is more in the vein of the songs that we liked on this, this isn't really something I can see myself going back to and listening
All right.
Maybe those 3 songs would be something I'd listen to, and I'd be like, hey, that's a Blur song. But the rest of it, it doesn't really like get my attention. Maybe it's because I have low attention span. So
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But I hear you though.
Yeah, it's not my thing. And I know some people really like that UK rock kind of sound. But it doesn't work for me. That's all. That's my review.
Okay, and my final review is I feel bad because Eleni is a great supporter of our channel, and she is very passionate about her fandom, which everyone is. Everyone's very passionate about what they're fans of. That's what makes you a fan. So that's kind of a silly comment that I just made. But and I always want to do right by our patrons. I always want to say the right. I don't want to, but we don't cater to to our responses or to them because we want to make them, or because then we don't lead people astray of what we want to react to at the same time. So this wasn't quite I'm a little disappointed. I guess I'm disappointed. I was hoping for more song 2, Chinese Bombs, song
2,
Moving On. Those songs were fun, and they're decent enough where you're like, okay, that's fun, that's great. It didn't break new ground, it didn't blow my mind, but I wasn't bored. But there was just too many tracks were very slow, nothing really happening, repeating stuff. And it's just so I find it interesting that this is such a highly reviewed album. And so I guess we missed the mark on why people love it so much. That's fine. Yeah. I can't imagine we're the only people in the world who heard this album. And it didn't connect. If we are, let us know in the comments that all 7 other billion people in the world connect to it. But yeah, let us know why it means so much to you. I just want to hear that. Like, don't try to convince us. That's not what we're looking for. But I want to hear what it is about this album to those Blur fans. When they heard this, they're like, yes, this is what Blur finally they got it. Or let us know if you agree with the record company's hesitation about this album. So I just want to hear from those, like, saying that we suck, which we know, we get it. Yeah, we suck. We don't understand. You guys don't. That's pointless banter. Telling us that we don't understand doesn't tell us how you feel about the album. So just let us know in the comments, if you don't mind, if you got this far in the video. Just say, hey, this is why this, as a Blur fan, we connect to it. Or as a Blur fan, we agree with the record company's fear. So I actually want to hear that from Blur fans. Yes, you can say that we missed the mark, but we already missed the mark. We're acknowledging that. We're not seeing, what Eleni saw. And I feel bad about that, but we're not catching what she saw. I mean, that's just my honest reaction.
Yeah. Okay, well said, Ryan.
Oh, well, you know me. You know me, I'm the diplomat, yeah.
Hopefully you appreciate. If you got this far in the video, good for you. Thank you for listening this long, and whether you agree with us or not, we appreciate the support. So hope to see you on the next video.